What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Josh, back with another haircut tutorial. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss out on any more videos that I drop. Today we're going to be doing a low taper, and y'all see my boy got them 360 waves popping. This cut came out so clean, let's get it. So the first thing we're going to do is comb his hair up off the scalp and the pattern that he's been brushing in. And we want to make sure that we get the hair to stand up as high as we can. So when we cut the bulk, we get as much haircut as possible all around for a true even cut. So we're going to be knocking his hair down to a number 2 guard with the lever all the way closed on top. Going with the grain, following the wave pattern, making sure that we stay consistent with it all the way around, and just doing long strokes. When you're cutting waves, you don't want to do short strokes. You want to do long strokes from the crown all the way to the edge. Whenever I do short strokes, that's usually when I'm done cutting down all the bulk and I'm just hitting certain areas for spots where small hairs are still sticking up and I feel like there's more hair to be cut in certain areas. That's when I go back and just basically double check on that and make sure I have all the hair cut. So once we're done knocking down all the bulk, we're going to go ahead and set in our first guideline and our taper, which is the bald line, using my gold Babyliss trimmers, setting in like a slight arch right at the bottom, right at the top of the ear. We don't want to make it too high because it's a low taper, but we do want to add a slight arch to give it that burst look. Using my JR rails with the lever all the way open, I go in and create my next guideline, going up about a ½ inch, making sure I follow the same shape as the previous guideline that we made. And right after we're done setting it in, we're going to close it halfway. Usually when I'm using my JR rails, there's different clicks on it, so I go halfway and then I go all the way closed. So for our next guideline, we're going to go in with my number 1 guard on with the lever all the way open, and I'm just going to go up about another ½ inch, and I'm keeping that same shape. I want to create that burst look throughout this whole fade. And then right after that, we're going to drop down to the number 1 guard with the lever all the way closed, and then just start to work that line out, fading down. Right after this, I'm going to come in with my half guard, and we should see that line right there blend right out. And right here is when I close my number 1 guard all the way, and you will see me just start to fade this line right out. It's going to lighten up. And right here I'm coming in with my half guard to blend it right out. So right here we're going to be setting in our foundation to start the fade down process. Right here I'm going in with my number 2 guard with the lever all the way open, and then I'm just going to drop down to the number 2 guard with the lever all the way closed. So usually when I cut people waves down to a number 2 guard, I usually fade up with a number 3 guard or a 2 guard open to start the process of fading down, and then I go down in guards until it's blended out. As you guys can see, now I have my 1.5 guard on. I went in with the lever all the way closed and went right up under that number 2. It really didn't take much to clean up that 1.5 guard area. Right here I'm back to the number 1 guard with the lever all the way open, and usually when I have the 1 guard back on, that's when I do the most detailed work, because it's like that perfect area that needs to be blended the most, because it's kind of the tightest area. And as you guys can see at the top of the fade, it needed to be blended some more. So right here I'm going in with my number 3 guard, and then I'm just going to follow that with the number 2 guard with the lever all the way open. And if you guys heard me earlier, I said when I cut people's hair down to a number 2, I usually fade up with a number 3 or a number 2 guard open to set the foundation for my fade when I'm doing a fading down process. So that's what you guys see me doing right now. I'm just basically retracing my steps, making sure that this fade is the best it can be. And if you guys notice, we working hard to get this fade to blend right. You see we going with and against the grain, just doing a lot of detail work. This is what sets you apart, and this is how people get those blurry fades. They really take their time and work on it. You know, they're not rushing it. They're really understanding the hair and noticing what they have to do to make it blend the way they want it to. So we're done with the side taper. We're going to move right to the back of that neck and set in my neck taper. Right now I'm going in and create my bald line just like you guys seen when I did the side taper with my gold Babyliss trimmers. Just setting in an even line so we can have a balanced neck fade. Right after setting in that bald line, you guys already know I'm coming in with my JR rails with the lever all the way open, and I'm going up about a ½ inch, making sure I stay parallel to the first guideline so we can keep everything balanced. And we're just going to work this guideline in, and then we're going to come back with the lever halfway closed and just start working out this guideline like you guys see right now. And then eventually I usually close my lever all the way when I'm using the JR rails because I wanted to get that guideline out all the way. Just like how we did on the side taper, our next guideline is going to be with the number 1 guard all the way open. Once we get in this territory here where we get to the crease in the head, I want to pick up my bigger guards and fade down to keep more hair, because when you tend to fade up, it cuts more hair. So fading down is essential when you have a haircut that requires a lower fade like this low taper. So moving on in this guideline, I went in with the number 1 guard open. Right now I have the number 1 guard all the way closed and I'm fading down. If you guys have been watching with me up until this point, I really appreciate it. This cut is going to come out fire. It's definitely worth watching, man. I can't wait for you guys to see the end. And right here you guys see me with that half guard. This is going to blend that line out completely. You guys see we got a smooth transition going on right here, but we about to make it even better. Right here I have my number 3 guard on with the lever all the way closed, and I'm just going up, setting in my foundation for my fading down process, because when you're fading into waves or any low haircut, you need a foundation just to start off from. So like I said, when I cut hair down to a number 2, I usually start with a number 3 guard to start my process, because that's what it equals. You have to find that happy medium between the guard sizes. So right here you guys see me with that number 2 guard on. I have it all the way open, dropping down right up under that number 3 guard, and then I'm going to close it, and then we're going to get this process going. Right after I'm done with the number 2 guard, I drop down to my 1.5 guard, just like I did on the side taper with the 1.5 all the way closed. And we're basically just fading down until we get that guideline blurry from the bottom all the way up into the bulk where the number 2 guard with the grain is. And we just want to make that transition as smooth as possible. Right after I'm done with the 1.5, I come in with my 1 guard with the lever all the way open. Like I told you guys on the side taper, usually when I pick up that 1 guard again, when I'm in that area where I have to blend it into the 1.5, that's where I do a lot of detail work, because it's one of the tightest areas and you don't want to push it up too high. So we're not going to be lining up his beard, but he did want me to put a little burst fade on it, so we're going to do that to fade it right into the taper. So we've gotten to one of the best parts of the video, which is the lineup. This is going to set everything off, the fade, everything. It's just going to be crazy. These lines came out super crispy. I'm going to sit back and let you guys watch this lineup bring this thing to life. Y'all already know, man, that neckline is going stupid, but look how it made the neck taper pop. I mean, this thing is crazy. Wait till you guys see this thing 360 all the way around, man. Everything was just sharp. Man, y'all know this lineup crispy, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all thinking, man. We ain't even done yet. Let's get it. So right here we finna add some pop to the haircut, man. We about to enhance it per client request. This joint is about to take this haircut to a whole nother level. I mean, you guys be knocking it, but you guys see the proof, man. I'm icy without it. It's still crispy. One thing about the enhancements, you never want to over apply it. You just want to make sure that it still looks natural but still has that sharp pop, but not overly darkened. Right after I apply my enhancements, I go in with my trimmers and I line it up with the natural line. When you apply the enhancements, you can still see the background of the natural shape up, and you just enhance it and wipe off all the extra. I usually keep a brush on me, and I just brush as I line it up to dust it all off so it can keep his forehead clean. To lock in my hair fibers to make sure they go nowhere, I come in with my Tresemme holding spray, and then I come back with my blow dryer on cool air just to lock it in. So once I have the hair fibers locked in, I usually come back and do one more pass with my trimmers to get any loose hairs and to just make that line up super crispy, to make sure all the fiber and everything is lined up dope. As you guys can see, this thing is super crispy, man, for real. And usually on my wavers, at the end of the haircut, I give them a slight brush session using my Torino Pro Clubman brush. And here's a tip to do on your wavers so the waves can have a more appealing look, and you can get all the loose frizzy hairs off the edge. You can run the clippers across the edge of the hair, keeping your hand steady, just gliding across, cutting the loose hairs. But you guys, this is the before, and if you watched the video up until this point, I really appreciate you guys. But without further ado, this is the cut. Let me know what you guys think about this haircut in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on this video too for the YouTube algorithm so I can keep growing. This cut came out crazy, and if you guys think so too and you're new, you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any new videos. And if you already subscribed, make sure you guys just give it a thumbs up and leave a comment so your boy can get that love. You guys also can follow me on Instagram at JoshXBarber, like you guys see on the top of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next. It's your boy Josh, and I'm out.